Phyllis Levitt, and as many of you may know, I started receiving divine guidance back in 1994. And periodically and sporadically, I've attempted to share some of the messages that I've received. But this time, I'm really going to make my messages very continual by reading from the books that I've written about the whole experience of receiving divine guidance and not just some of the principles that were shared with me, in the hope that in hearing about my personal experience and how divine guidance changed my life and changed my perspective on all the experiences of my life, as well as what to do with all the experiences of my life, that you will find the personal applicability for yourself that so many of us are searching for and sharing with one another today. I think these messages are particularly urgent in the world we live in today, which seems like it's on a path of a lot of self-destruction as well as a lot of light bursting through. So in hopes of sharing and contributing to the light bursting through, this is my gift to you, is to share with you my story. So I'm going to start with the introduction to A Light in the Darkness, and here goes. And then after that, I will read a chapter or two at a time, hopefully on a daily basis, whenever possible. So the introduction to A Light in the Darkness is this. A light in the darkness is a gift that was given to me. An odd way, perhaps, to talk about the book I have been working on or not for the last 20 years. And I wrote this book a little more than 10 years ago. It is the story of my personal journey from darkness into light, from being absolutely no one in particular, a lonely, depressed single mother with a history of abuse, to becoming exactly the same person, but reborn into a different consciousness of not only myself, but also the universe. In one sense, this book is the story of my personal deliverance out of suffering and desolation, but that is not the heart of my book. On December 10th, 1994, I had a remarkable experience. I was in therapy, deep in the darkness of terrible memories from childhood. I was as far from any sense of the divine as I would have thought possible, when suddenly a delicate, rhythmic, otherworldly vibration of light began to pulsate in my forehead. Love and life-giving energy vibrated down my throat and into my heart. Golden light filled me. Then the vibration enveloped me from the outside, rippling in huge waves around my entire body. I heard this message. There is a God. This is God, and this is how you know God. The same voice said, surrender totally, surrender everything. Your pain, your practice, your children, your preconceptions of how things should be and what should happen. Surrender your life. Give it to God. Golden light then shone down from a point inside the top of my head. And then I heard, nothing is yours. This is how you find happiness. I'm showing you the way. In this moment, it is golden and completely unobstructed. You will carve the way out of the stones and dirt of real-life experience. It will not always look golden, but remember this. Don't ever look at life the same way again. Make surrender your practice. God spoke to me. Although I believed in the God within and I had prayed for God's help, I was totally unprepared to have that prayer answered. On that day, my personal journey unexpectedly became the doorway into another realm. 3 months later, this voice of God returned and wrote through my hand as I was writing in my journal. And after that, all I had to do was ask a question, and God and soul would be there immediately with answers that blew open my educated East Coast mind and the limited pictures of healing I had hoped to achieve. They had something to say that went way beyond my personal trials and challenges. They had something to say to all of us human beings about what we're doing here in human form, what the sole purpose is behind all our struggles, and how we can participate and return to oneness through the transformation of the exact challenges we face. As miraculous as it was to hear messages from a divine source, it was also very frightening. The fear was that people would think I was either full of myself or a little nuts. Who does she think she is? How presumptuous. I was afraid I was a little nuts. All I can tell you is that everything in this book is much larger and more universal than anything Phyllis Levitt is capable of, much more divinely loving and wise than anything Phyllis Levitt could or would ever want to take credit for herself. I was 47 at the time the writing began. I had lived all my life with an unidentifiable pain that would not let me go. I could be sitting in your living room smiling and having a respectable conversation, but I couldn't connect to anything but my own pain. That was what life was like for me before this light turned on, before I was shown that within the agonizing disconnection and fear, my soul was waiting to reveal the divine meaning and purpose of it all. God's light did not rescue me from anything lying in my path, but even so, I was changed forever. I was set on a road. I call it the road home. It was an unusual miracle. My light not only lit up the darkness I was living in, it wanted to tell me about it. It walked me through the very same landscape I had been stumbling my way through in the dark again, but this time the consciousness of my soul was my loving guide. I had already done many years of therapy. I thought I had gone as far as I could go into the underworld of myself, but I was taken down once more while the light was held steadily for me, even when I lost my faith again and again. God wanted me to understand the nature of what we call darkness from its divine point of view. Darkness was not considered an obstacle to light or that which man has created in defiance of God. God did not judge the darkness or anything it revealed as evil, stupid, or sinful, any more than you would call the rock you stumbled over in the dark a sign of your unworthiness, failure, or a fall from grace. Rather, I was very lovingly shown that the trials we face as we strive to answer our deepest callings are the exact raw materials we need for the road home to oneness, that what we consider darkness can be experienced as the doorway to light. I was shown that the very pain we try so hard to deny, judge, or fix is the food we eat for the journey, and that our greatest difficulties are exactly what we came here at our own soul's bidding to transform into light. God help me see that no one is less worthy, less able, or less loved in the eyes of oneness. No one. The message was that we all have the ability to uncover our divine nature and experience God directly within the particulars of our own individual trials, triumphs, and even within what we consider our failings, and sometimes particularly within what we consider our failings. That is where I began, deep in the pain of all I considered wrong with me. I truly believed that my painful marriage, difficult divorce, loneliness, and inability to find joy had branded me as unlovable. That was where I was when the light found me. I don't live in that darkness anymore, but it's not because I'm special or more worthy or because I have arrived. My journey, you will see, has been unbearably imperfect, achingly human, and it still is. I'm a student of what was shared with me, not a master in any way. And that may be one of the greatest blessings of all. The needs for perfection, self-denial, strict adherence to dogma, or beliefs of any kind are not requirements on the road I took. For many years, I had followed different teachers and tried a number of spiritual practices, but my experiences never seemed to fit any of the prescribed paths. Eventually, I found myself turning within again, with nothing external left to hold on to. And it was then that they appeared and a roadmap was given. It is a roadmap anyone can follow. The God I found lovingly and patiently walked me through a frightening journey covering lifetimes, all the while showing me how it was that my soul came cloaked in this person Phyllis, and why I faced the particular trials of my particular life. Through that journey, I was shown the bigger picture of what soul intended by taking on human form in the first place. God wanted to help me convert the pain and challenges of Phyllis's experience into soul consciousness and become a vehicle for divine love. And in one way or another, each according to his own individual path, that seemed to be the ultimate purpose for us all, to carve out our place in the expression of divine love on earth. The heart of my book is this: the divine wants to manifest in relationship to us all. It has a wisdom it wants to share with human beings. God wants to help us find our way home. My greatest wish, beyond sharing all the particulars of the light that was shed on our human journey, my greatest wish is that through these pages, the divine love that was given so freely to me will vibrate in your heart and light your way. There's no way to fit all of my writing into one book, so this book is the first of several. What is written here is, in some ways, an introduction to the building body of knowledge and understanding about our soul's journey here on earth as it was shared with me. And in the following pages of The Light in the Darkness, I will start with some autographical material of where my life was from the beginning and what happened when divine guidance appeared. So I look forward to seeing you again in my next installment. Bye.